Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Family Time with the Walkers. I'm Janine Walker.
I'm Ashlyn. My name is Ariana.
And today we're going to do what we do best, which is get into the kitchen and cook as a family together. The Word of God says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So we're a family that loves God, that loves to cook together and enjoy time with the Lord and with each other. So right now we're going to go ahead and go wash our hands and we're going to meet you in the kitchen. Let's go. So hi guys, we're back in the kitchen. Now anyone who does a lot of cooking knows that the most time that we spend in the kitchen is prepping to be able to cook. And I've realized that seasoning, especially fresh seasoning, is really good. And it smells, not only does it smell really good in your food, but it actually makes the flavors so much more enhanced. So we live here in Florida, and if you go to Publix or if you go to Walmart, you will realize that they actually sell a lot of the seasoning already cut up. So whether it is you're buying onions or, you can even get the bottled garlic and everything. But what I have realized that when you open that package, and sometimes even when you don't open the package, after a couple of days, usually around 2 to 3 days, you will realize that the seasoning has completely lost its crispness, its flavor, everything like that. It starts to get really soggy. So during fasting, fascinatingly, during fasting, we were actually doing more of the raw foods, using a lot of raw seasoning, the seasonings and everything, eating it just as it is. Comes from the ground, you wash it, you eat it. And I actually realized that I cut up the seasoning and bottled it, I saw that it lasted a lot longer. We use a lot of seasoning in my house because we cook so often, but I can't really tell you past a week if it will last any longer other than ginger. I've seen ginger last in the bottles that I have, and I'll actually show you what type of bottles that I got. I've seen it last 2 weeks and more, and it's kept its scent, it's kept its flavor, it's kept everything. So today we're actually going to be doing just a bottling of the seasoning that you would use, and it makes it really easy not only for me when I'm prepping to cook, but it makes it easy for my kids because sometimes they would use a lot of these seasonings when they're making their own dishes, and it makes me feel more at ease knowing that they don't have to use the knife because everything has already been done for them. And not only does that happen, we also cut down our time spent in the kitchen because of having to do all this prep with seasoning. I know that when you can change the dishes as you go to, as you feel basically, and you can't really pre-prep everything, but pre-prepping the seasoning is definitely a definite game changer. It saves you so much time, and at this point in time we want to work smarter, not harder. So I'm just going to give you some time to be able to see what items that we're going to be using, what we're actually going to be bottling, and I'm going to explain to you what would be the best thing for you to do, whether it is you should put it in the food processor or whether it is you should just cut it up. It's all up to you, but I'm going to show you what it is my family and I do. So let's just go ahead and start doing that. Okay guys, so right now you have just basically a nice big garden of fresh seasoning that we have here. As you can see, we have some red onions. I have some pimento peppers, which is something that you really find especially in Trinidad. I have actual hot pepper right here, Scotch bonnet pepper. I have some regular yellow onions. I have green onions. I have some cilantro. I have some parsley. I have some thyme right here. And hiding underneath everything, I have something that we call shadon benny, which is something that we have in Trinidad. They might call it culantro. Sometimes we might even hear them call it cilantro. It has many different names, but in Trinidad we call it shadon benny. I also have some ginger, fresh ginger, and we have some fresh garlic. Now, the item that I was telling you about, the bottles, these are what it is. I got it from Target, and as you can see, it's almost like vacuum sealed. So when it says you put your seasoning in here and you close it back up and you cover it, I think that's what keeps all the air out, and it keeps the seasoning actually keeps its crispness and its flavors, which is really the most important thing when it is you're making out your dishes, especially Caribbean dishes. You want to be able to taste all of the flavors that comes from your seasonings. So we have that. You can have different sizes. So this is like a 4-ounce jar. So if you're just doing maybe a little bit of ginger, my family actually uses a lot of seasoning. We use a lot of seasoning. So I am actually going to be using the 8-ounce jar and see exactly how much of that it holds. We are also going to be using our food processor. I prefer to put my ginger in here to make it minced, so that way I can, it makes it easier for someone who doesn't want to necessarily eat the seasoning, but they like the flavor of the seasoning. You can actually use the food processor, and that makes it a lot easier to do. So we're gonna go ahead and start doing our seasonings. So, okay guys, so I'm just gonna take this time to actually start cutting up all the seasoning. My girls are actually gonna put the ginger inside of the food processor, and just to make sure that you don't have to hear all of that noise in your ears, we're gonna pause the video. We're gonna do what we need to do, and then we're gonna show you what the finished product looks like, so that we, and you can see how we bottle it, so that way you can be able to do it yourself and make sure that you have that for your family when you're using it. So you guys can go right ahead, girls. Start putting the ginger inside of the food processor. And I'm just going to give them all different activities to do, or I'm going to delegate some of the responsibilities to them, so that way they can take part in the process and they will be able to actually appreciate all the time and effort that it takes to make sure that we make really good, healthy, and good tasting food for our families and for each other, right? So they've already put all the ginger in, and we're not going to be doing a whole lot of ginger. We're just going to do a little bit, and we're going to show you what it looks like. And while we're doing that, I'm going to actually start cutting up our onions. I'm going to start cutting up the green onions. Even the shadon benny, I'm going to start cutting that up. But I do want to point out, with the shadon benny, that's one thing that I have noticed. It did not last as long, and therefore I didn't see the potency of the flavors as well as the scent. I think it really roughly lasts maybe 1 to 2 days, especially when you cut it up. But if you use it in green seasoning, which is another video I'm going to be doing about showing you how to make green seasoning that we do in Trinidad. I believe for Spanish people, they actually call it sofrito. And that green seasoning is such a lovely thing to season your meat with. So we're going to just do the seasoning. We're going to bottle up some, because as soon as we're done with the ginger, we're going to be doing the garlic. But by hand, I'm going to start cutting up the onions, and I'm going to show you when I'm finished doing it. I will show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you as we bottle it what everything looks like. So we'll see you back here in a minute. So right now the girls are actually putting the ginger into the bottles, and I'm just going to continue cutting up the onion. I'm going to actually dice it or make it a lot smaller, and then I'm actually going to slice it as well, so that way I have 2 options of how it is I want to do my my onions. So there we go. We have some of the onions already cut up right here and ready to be bottled. And I have the red onions as well as the regular yellow onions, because sometimes you have some dishes that call for red onions and some that call for just regular yellow onions. So I'm just cutting off the top of these onions because I don't necessarily want that part. And I have some diced and I have this sliced right now. So there are some dishes that I prefer to have sliced onions in it. And I'm just going to do that same thing for my red onions. I'm going to have some diced and I'm going to have some sliced, and we're just going to bottle everything. So we'll meet you back here in a little bit. Okay guys, we're back. We're finished doing everything. Just as Ashlyn pointed out, please make sure that when you're done doing everything, you're done bottling everything, please label it, put the date, so that way you would be able to know when it is you did it and what seasoning you actually did. So this right here is the shad and benny that we did. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. I've already diced it up so it can be used for basically any dish that you desire to use, right?
What is this?
That's garlic. I actually have the thyme kept just like this. I know some of you guys realize that when it is you buy it in the bag, after a while it starts to turn brown and the leaves start to fall off. So I actually wanted to test and see if it is that the thyme would stay as long as thyme. Basically, sorry for my pun. But we're going to check and see exactly how long this is going to last. When we do a lot of Caribbean dishes, we actually just put the entire thyme leaf inside of it, and you know that it's basically with the cooking, because all the leaves fall off the stems, so you at least you know you can take it out when you're done with that. We have the green onion, as you can see, is diced up. The only time I probably would dice green onion up again would be if I'm doing Chinese dishes. You know that they actually dice their green onions on an angle. So if I'm doing Chinese dishes, I would actually do some fresh green onion, cut up some fresh green onion to go with that. We have the onion as red onion. We have it sliced, as well as having it diced, right? So we have made sure that we have a lot of our seasonings. This would be the ginger. As you can see, all the flavor is down at the bottom with the ginger. And I can tell you, Ashlyn, what did you say?
The ginger had a really strong smell, but it still smelled really good.
It smells really good, right? So we have a lot of ginger here. A lot of ginger. Smells, as she said, it smells really, really good. So as you can see, we've done basically everything. This is the regular yellow onion diced, and you have some yellow onion sliced for whatever dishes you need. This would be some parsley. We have some, I actually put it in the food processor to get it smaller. You know, you can always use parsley as a garnish, as well as putting it in for all the Italian dishes. It's a really good one. And this will be our pimento peppers. Right? Ariana has been enjoying eating all of these seasonings. I'm not exactly certain why, but okay, you know, she's enjoying it. So there you go. There you have it. So Ashlyn is going to go ahead and continue labeling everything, and we're going to see you guys back in a little bit. So there you have it, guys. That's part of what we do in our household to be able to make our food taste better, and that also for us to be able to move a little bit more quickly in the kitchen. I know Ashlyn, while she was bottling the onions, her eyes started to water. So I'm hoping that she realizes exactly what it is I go through when it is I'm cooking all the dishes that they request me to make. So that is also a key point. Let's just do the onions, get it done one shot, so that way we don't have to have our eyes watering every time it is we cook. So we really hope that you enjoyed this video.
We thank you for tuning in for today's video. Please tell us in the comments below what you would like to see us make next. If this video has blessed you, then please take this moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel and share to show the love of God with someone else. Remember, it's always best to walk with God. Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Bye.